What's good, YouTube? We're back with another market watch, and the first thing here today is insane. Solemn Strike, Ultimate Solemn Strike, is headed towards being a $100 Ultimate Rare from OTS Pack 4. I guess everybody who wants this card needs a playset, and we're seeing this on both platforms. Remember, originally they were 75, and the norm is towards 90, but it just keeps going up. This is so insane. We see a new listing at 95. So that's like somebody who just packs it and wants to sell it now, and now I'm the lowest. I am captain now on eBay. Because there's only two under 108 on eBay. This is so insane to me. So the reason for this, though, is it's a card that you play 2 to 3 of whenever you're playing it. Most people are going to be getting a set if they're really going for this card. If money's not an object to them, or they've traded and sold cards to get this, I guess money would not be the object of obtaining this card. And the quantity is going to stay very low because people are going to keep going for sets, right? So with the quantity staying low of an Ulti being packed out of the OTS Pack 4s, I think it's going to stay towards here for a while. It's really insane to say that, but the regular secret Solemns are near 30 still. Like they're hanging around that 30 point. So this card, being the highest rarity, quote unquote, of the card, the ultimate rare, because there's only, you know, so many ultis printed per year now, thanks to the OP packs. It's going to be staying up here, guys. I personally would like one, but I don't think I would go trade or spend my money towards one. I would hope to rip open an OTS pack, win the lotto, have $100. Isn't that nice? Woo, thank you. But that's not going to happen. Realistically, you're not going to be that lucky guy. You're going to be trading for this, and I think this price is going to be set for a while, unfortunately, and I think it's kind of deserving. It's such an impactful card. Those ultimate Solemns are always held in such a high regard, aren't they? Warning, aren't they? Solemn warning. So we go towards a failed buyout, as I like to call it, and here's my proof. Dragunity Knight Trident is quickly seeing coolant. Chow Productions here with 10 on the DT at 14. So why I call it a failed buyout is when the higher rarity version is much lower than the lower rarity version, something's up. And you know, James Chow Productions is a very good vendor, and Howie probably has a bunch of the DT4 version. Remember, DT4 went on sale a while back, and that's what dipped DT4 Trishula's price for a while. So everybody had to buy whole cases of DT4. Well, guess what else came in there? Trident. Weird. And so we're gonna see, you know, these high quantities from vendors of the DT4 pushing it down very quickly, which in turn will push down the lower rarity version of the Hidden Arsenal quickly. And on eBay, we still see it at 19.19. So I would like you to tell me, oops, our next card, ooh, spoilers. I would like you to tell me what you guys think of Dragunity Trident. Basically, people are saying, oh, it's Lithos Asham 2.0. You're hitting the extra again. You're able to use True Kings and try to hit again. But he has restrictions on his summoning clause. So what are you guys going to be using it? Are you going to, like, splash True Dracos into Dragunity? What are you planning here with this card? If anybody's bought them, please let me know. I just don't think it's gonna be that good overall because the synergy is so bad. Send up to 3 cards you control to the graveyard. True Dracos is the only thing that I could even think could take any sort of advantage off of that, and even then I really don't think so. Like, I just don't think it's good at all. That's my opinion. Dimensional barriers, down. Yes, $50, hitting that nice smooth point once again. And here's why. People are realizing during the next format, it does nothing, zero, nada to one of the top 3 decks, True Dracos. True Dracos will definitely cement itself in the top 3 decks, and it does not really touch its extra deck a lot. I see people playing on Dueling Book that use no extra deck just to do it. And I think it's still a great card. It's still going to check other strategies. It's still a good side deck card. But when you go to being a side deck card, your price goes down. Remember Mistake trying to float to 60 and then the next week it's back down to 30? A secret rare that's highly regarded. being a side deck card, it will fall in price even more if that is what it goes to being in the meta. And we see over here 52, 53, 55. It's been quickly cooling on eBay from that $60 price point as well. You see the norm was 62. We featured it while it was, you know, around there. I think this is about right, as odd as that might sound, but I think we'll see it continue to trail down as it races towards Megaton timeline. Remember, the Megatons probably will include this, as they do need some chase cards, as Desires is already a promo. I would think this will be similar to Solemn Strike in price when it gets Megaton overall. And its initial fallout price was 20 before going back up, if you recall. So, just something to consider and keep an eye on. I don't know if people will stop main decking this card, but a card that I suggested over it that quickly went up after suggesting it was Solemn Scolding. So let's talk about Market Watch's effect on the market once again. We see it's actually much lower already on eBay, 650. This guy sold a ton, has it at 7. It's not as if it's put it out of price range for a lot of people. Now, when I make a suggestion, people are given information, and people either go, you know what, he's right, I need to get this now. I better get it now because it was on Market Watch, or I'm not going to get it, it doesn't seem that good. And a lot of people went for it. Now, I sped up an already happening trend on eBay. We saw that it was up way higher on eBay than TCG Player, and it was at low quantity, so people were already picking at this card. And what I was talking about was, well, look, guys, it's going up, and over here on eBay, I would consider buying it up to $5 myself if I was getting a set. I went ahead and bought only one of the $2 ones because on my set, on my desk here, we already had a Solemn Scolding that I'll be keeping for the format. And I think it's very good in True King Dinosaurs to main deck possibly over a card like Dimensional Barrier, because it does take care of any potential problem or possible problem, and it's relatively budget even still. So people were like, I don't like your control over the market. If I could control the market, Ding Long would have been up way sooner. I said Ding Long over and over and over, and it stayed at $2 until it naturally went up over time. Now, another card that I did influence was On Ice Persona Dragon, which was at $60, and I said, hey guys, look, Persona Dragon's really high. This is pretty terrible of vendors to be trying to set this bar, and a ton of people commented, I didn't even know that was money. I didn't know I had money. I'm going to go list this at 30, and the listings all went at 30 and drove the price way down, and now we see it as low as 26 and 25 today. So it's a card that was just super hard to get. We featured it on Market Watch, and tons of people at home said, wow, I have this card. So yes, Market Watch can influence the market in several ways. I'm not denying this. I did hype Solemn Scolding. I will even say that I hyped it. Sometimes I see a card that I personally like, and I would be getting myself, and I tell people, hey, I would go ahead and get it. It's not as if I'm buying huge quantities of these in order to resell and buying them for myself and then telling you guys what I personally made as a decision or why I would not make a decision. Psy-frame Gear Gamma. $8.50 again, huh? This thing again, huh? It's at $8 over here too. You see the norm. It dips up and down. I saw it as low as $5, I think, a couple weeks ago. It's back into that hype range. If you don't know which Psy-frame this is the one that negates a monster effect being activated while you control no monsters. But that monster effect can be activated anywhere. It doesn't need to be a monster they control. So it's pretty good in that aspect. But I personally don't like having to run the brick of Psy-frame Driver. So yeah, it's like, you could just draw this on its own and then not draw your guys. But a lot of people find it worth it. A lot of people find the fact that you'll have 3 of these versus 1 of him very, very consistent. I just personally don't enjoy it myself. But I can see why people like it a lot and why it will or will maybe not see a lot of success. But I could see it being a successful card overall. So at $8 for an ultra rare of a non-reprinted and no reprint on the Horizon card that's pretty good as a tech, because unlike Valor, it's taking care of whatever you negated. It destroys whatever you negate. I think it's a decent tech, despite my hatred of having to run a vanilla break in the deck for something that's not as powerful as Brilliant Fusion. Terraforming Supers. I wanted to talk about this as a potential, if you've been holding off, I would trade for it now kind of card. I don't know that I would go buy it past 20, because if you're buying to resale and it only bumps to 25, your fees will eat completely any profit you could possibly make. But this card, I think, is going to see a rise in play and a lowered quantity available as we head towards that season, with the True Kings and the True Dracos using that field spell, as well as other decks like Spyrals having their field spell. Almost everybody's going to be using field spells. So I think this card, the super rare specifically, will see a bump towards Nationals as people really figure out what they want to play and then hollow out their deck. There's not the highest amount of quantity of this card, as we see there's only 11 people with listings and very few people with a ton. We see this guy. This guy was ready. He has 40, but besides that, Adam Korn has 3 playsets holding the line back here as well. There's not many people with a ton, and just that one guy. But I do think that as we see the prices here, it could be hitting this 25 range decently soon towards Nationals. Only 18 listings total here. That doesn't reflect quantity again, but there are very few sellers overall. That's 18 over here and 11 total sellers over here. But again, we do have a huge quantity holding the line at TCG lowest. You're not the lowest, you lied. TCG lowest. You might be soon though. Spyral Super Agent is going down. You know, that nice cycle of, oh, here's some Spyral pictures. Oh, Super Agent's up. Well, that's finally over, as that was the final Spyral support. And ironically, let's rhyme here, the only card I would invest in is Spyral Resort. So, Super Agent, he could go back up, but if he was as hype as, you know, people really tried to make the archetype out to be, he would be as high as the True King, the Ultra, the Fire one. But he's not, and the reason why is that last support that they got just wasn't up to the standards of breaking the deck. It's stuck in that 1.5 to 2 range. With True Dracos and True Kings coming out, they're highly likely to be the better decks, and this guy's just floating. You see, this guy has 7 dollar ones, 20 of them, 20 Chow Productions again here on the scene first. And we see Pro Play Games also around the $7 range with just 1. And then we see TCG Lows. Man, TCG Lows is going ham. 688, 64 of them. But it's just that matter of, I think it'll continue to cool back down and stabilize here at $5, even though there's only one seller there. And we see 667 before $7. I just think we'll continue to see it cool back down. There's no more pictures to show to make a price go up with ambiguous happenings. But if I were to invest in any piece, Spyral Resort is kind of like Metal Foes Fusion in that it's such a good card, but only a quarter. And again, you'd be racing towards the Megatins to be going for this card because it's an in-off card, which will highly likely be in the Megatins. But if this deck really took off, everybody would need playsets of these. And at quarters, it's hardly anything for investing if you're actually trying to buy a card to invest in. So if I were going for anything, I would definitely go for the field spell if I was thinking this deck was the realist. If I were to buy 20 of a card, it would be this, not this. You know, the difference is being, you know, let's say 30 cents, you know, that's, or 30 of them at, you know, 20 cents or whatever. It would be so much lower, but you can't actually get that. So we see the lowest is actually that you could buy a high quantity of is 40 cents if you were to buy it. So the reason people can sell lower prices on TCG Player, quick lesson here also, is that they can demand that you buy a total of $1 so that their stamp is worth it, basically. So if you bought out all of this, they're only charging you shipping once because shipping is quote-unquote included. And you go ahead and get a large amount of them for relatively cheap. And I don't think we would see this card spike anytime soon. This is just, if I were to personally go and think Spyrals are the best deck, I would be going for this card over this card for a return on my investment. Thanks for watching, guys. What did you think of today's Market Watch? I did enjoy covering everything from potential investments to what's going on to what I would be looking forward to. And I know the Solemn Scolding thing probably grinds a few gears, but it's honestly not that much higher than it was. It's a 2x 2 days after, so we'll continue to see it go down. And I think rest at $5 again. Thanks for watching, guys.